new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. Yeah. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
Hey, Grand Rising to you, beautiful people. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
The new Black Wall Street.
Oh, there we go. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street, the Money and Power Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, is a study of Black wealth. The book that I wrote is a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if. I realize in my lifetime that everybody don't want to be rich. Everybody don't want to get wealthy. Everybody don't want to leave an inheritance to their children. So I'm just talking smoke. But if you do, I recommend that you start that process by studying wealthy people. The Black Billionaires Club, the book you can find by simply going to the website www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. I will let you guys know, I've said this all week, there's about 20 copies left of this book, and that will be the last 20 copies of this book. It's not something that we will continue to print. It's something that for those who have it, it becomes exclusive to them as we prepare for book number 2. So if you want to be one of the few who has a copy of the original Black Billionaires Club, then you just simply order. You will be able to still get the ebook, but the physical copy of the book, we will be doing no more printing. And so if you want to get that book, you want to have it in your library, then make sure that you order today. Everybody put in the console library. Here's the interesting thing, guys. As I continue to study, of course, you guys don't know who I am. I am a certified financial educator. I've been teaching Black folk about money for the past decade. I've been trying to help as many people as that wanted to learn how to get out of debt, how to get rich, and how to build wealth. And here's what I have found to be, somewhat of a mean joke, but is that poor people, they have big TVs, but wealthy people have big libraries. And it's what you choose. You and I choose to read for ourselves, educate ourselves that actually can lead us to fortune. Sitting around on Facebook and having the conversations and complaining about this and that and having the arguments about this and that, that does not lead you to fortune. That leads you to stress. That leads you to anxiety. That leads you to things that you really don't want. But for the things that you do want, it requires a little bit of study. It requires a little bit of study. In the comments below, I want you to think about this for a second. The things that you have actually studied in your life, for the things that you wanted to acquire, were you not able to get those after you've had a sufficient amount of study in that particular area? Were you not able to get the certificate? Were you not able to increase your income? The things that you studied, not the things you simply talked about and had an opinion about and just kind of flew by the night, but the things that you studied. Well, therein lies the difference. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Today's episode is being brought to you by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, which specializes in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. Here at ERGJ Black Bazaar, we do have a temporary section, which is the personal protective equipment. But then we also have a section that we not only do business with us, but you do business with people that's connected to us, which would be our Black-owned business partner section as well. So you can go to ERGJ Black Bazaar and find a lot of cool stuff. But you can also find other Black-owned businesses that you can choose to do business with. And that's what we call group economics. See, if more of our businesses actually practice this part, where we not only do business with each other, but we market for each other, we advertise for each other, well, then now we are actually practicing business group economics, which can actually help us to continue to grow our community. Well, you can find ERGJ Black Bazaar by simply going to the website, www.theblackbazaar.com, www.theblackbazaar.com. We want you guys to remember this, that once you shop Black, you never go back. That's right, man. Once you shop Black, You never go back. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share. Let us know where you're connecting from. What city, what state, what country, quite possibly. We're broadcasting across the world we're from our humble abode here in our studio in Decatur, Georgia. And we're using the World Wide Web to connect with you on your phone, on your laptop, or on your PC as we have our broadcast this morning. And we'd love to know just how far our reach is today. So in the comments below, rep your city, rep your state, rep your country. Let us know where you're connecting from as we find out the early birds who are getting the worm this morning. That's right, the early birds. Miss Yvette back. Happy Wednesday to you. It is Wednesday, by the way. I'm glad you reminded me it's Wednesday because that means we got a special day that we got to do something. That's right, man. What's up, Loki Slick, Sauce in the house, Charles, South Carolina's in the house. Thanks so much for joining us on YouTube. What's going on, the Doctor Weathersby, man? Thanks so much for being here yesterday. You're back again today. Our Grand Rising to you. Thanks so much for joining us, billionaires. Anybody that's over our watch party as well, Grand Rising to you. Also, thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. Now, what is the Money and Power Show really all about? These two words, money and the power. Money and the power. Two particular topics that I feel we don't talk enough about as Black folk. Money being economics, money being cash flow, and power. Power being politics. Power being the rules that are written across the land. I believe if we begin to speak more about this, not just talk about it, but get to learn more about it, learning about money, learning about politics, and participating in the process, we can begin to make changes that are beneficial for our very own community. I was thinking this morning, someone said to me as I was talking about this whole political thing with Trump and Biden and all that stuff, and I told them I just simply don't vote. I don't vote for the lesser of two evils. And they said, well, you're part of the problem. I said, well, my response was, well, I think you're part of the problem if you don't learn about money. I think you're part of the problem. I mean, I'm exercising my right not to vote. You exercising your right not to learn. What's the difference? So it's just a matter of what we decide to do as people. It's just a matter of what we decide. Everybody's going to do what they think is best for them. And I hope it works out for you. Well, what I do know is that in this society, while we're here on this earth, we are going to have to deal with money and the power. And so I use this show to be able to bring people and have conversations to help elevate the way that we think so we can have more money and the power. Everybody put the console money and the power. Now, y'all know that's a song by, I think it's by the Ghetto Boys, Money, Scarface or something like that back in the day, Texas. Texas. That reminds me of that, man. So today we're going to do something very special. First, we have, I'm glad that you guys reminded me. We do have, what's going on, Brother Henderson is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Maurice Bynum out of Philadelphia, man. What's going on with your billionaire, brother? Crystal Billionaire Hill is in the house from Norcross, Georgia. What's going on? Detroit is in the house, man. What's going on? William Billionaire Barry has joined us today. We got a Barry sighting. Y'all know something going on. Now, today is Wednesday, guys. It's Black Woman Wednesday. Tonight, we'll have a special presentation. We'll be discussing government contracts, how to get the big money. Government contracts, corporate contracts, things that you need to know, things you need to consider if you're developing a business, you got a business, and you ain't getting that big money yet. I'm talking about, how many guys know that the government actually employs the most amount of people? They employ more people than small businesses. And so while they're employing those people, they have to provide products and services for those people. And then they also pay the money through contracting to the suppliers for that stuff. And so you might have a product or service that you can actually bring to serve the government and its employees. But if you don't know how to set yourself up right, if you don't know some of the stuff that you need to get, certificates and all that stuff, well, you're just looking at other people bid for money that you could be getting. In other words, you don't put yourself in position to be qualified. Everybody put in the console qualified. Are you qualified for the big money? Is your business qualified for the big dollars? Can you even handle a big contract? See, I was thinking this morning, we were having this conversation about, organic versus paid advertising. And I was telling people, well, I don't really pay for advertising right now, and I get great results. And I was talking to myself, if I did pay for advertising, I'd probably get more people. I'd probably have more sales. I'd probably have more customers, right? But I don't think I'm ready for more. I don't systematically have things in place to be able to fulfill 15,000 orders in a day. I ain't ready for that. So I'll just stick to what I'm doing right now till I can level up my systems to be able to to increase the capacity in which I do. You ever thought about that? So I talk to people all the time and say, yeah, you want success, but are you ready for what comes with success? Are you ready to be able to take care of the shipping and fulfill all these different orders that you want, but are you ready for them? Because if you're not ready for them, you could get them and they could destroy you because you're not ready. Now you're overwhelmed with success because your systems aren't ready to fulfill that which it is that you wanted. Nobody wants to talk about this though. Oh, no. Oh, we having this conversation and we ain't ready for this. Yeah. When success comes your way, are you ready to receive it? Are you prepared? Do you have the structure? Do you have the systems in place to be able to handle what comes along with more money? And it's not more problems. It's only a problem because you're not prepared for it. It's only a problem because no one's really talked to you about it. It's only a problem because your dreams came true and you feeling like Gideon with the Gideon complex. You ever thought about that? What happens when I get what I want? Am I ready for it? Everybody put in the comments, so are you ready? What happens when I actually get what I want? What happens when God answers my prayers? Am I ready for it? Are you ready to 10x your business? Are you really ready to 10x your customer base? Are you really ready to be able to handle? Do you even have the type of character that can handle that? Are you really ready to handle more? Many of us are not. We don't have systems in place. We haven't automated stuff. We're still doing things by hand. We're still doing business like it's 1999. But we want more. We want to enlarge our territory. I'm here to tell you that some of you guys simply aren't ready for your territory to be enlarged. It would destroy you. Now you can get ready. You can get ready, but you may not be ready. Here today on Wednesday, guys, the first thing we need to do is I almost forgot. I'm glad somebody reminded me. Yeah, we do have a 52-week savings challenge, and it's not week number 27. I believe it's week number 29. Let me go and do some counting. What this simply means is that each week, according to the week, we're going to put this amount of money into our savings container. So I actually have my own savings container. A sister created this for me. It's my straight out of money jar. It just reminds me that for some reason, I look in this jar and it ain't got no money. I must be straight out of money. And I don't want to get there. I don't want to get to the space where I'm straight out of money. So I just keep this as a reminder to keep paying myself first, to make sure that I value me and I value the work that I put in and all the effort that I do to be able to generate income. I don't pay Visa first. I don't even pay the church first. I don't pay the electric bill first. I don't pay the car note first. I pay myself first. Everybody put in consoles, pay yourself first. Now, this is a wealth building principle. Now, you can say I do pay the gods first, but I pay the God that's in me first. But this is a wealth building principle. It's really only about 4 principles as it relates to dealing with money and dealing with money in a good way. And one of those is pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Don't you deserve it? I mean, really, don't you deserve it? Pay yourself first. So let me remind myself of what date this is. Let's see. We got January, we have 5, 9, 13, 18, 22, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. This is 31. Oh, this week 31. Oh, Lord, this week 31. I hope I didn't miss. Did I miss a week? I must have missed last week. I got old. I hope I didn't miss a week. Anyway, this is 52 weeks savings, week number 31. So let's see here if I can find. If I can't, I'm going to put $41 in there. It don't matter. I'm probably going to put $40 in there today just because. See, I'm going to put a little extra in today. I feel like I might have missed a week. I was down last week. I feel like I might have missed a week. I got to catch back up if I did. I don't know whether I did or didn't. But nonetheless, right? I'm paying myself first. That's $40, right? It's called building a habit. All right, you do something 21 days, you can start to create a habit. And you see how I'm like, I don't think I did it last week. Makes me feel bad when I didn't follow my own habit. This is a good habit. And because it's a good habit, I want to continue to do it. And I'm reminded of when I don't do it because I've established a new good habit. I've been doing it for 29 weeks. I think I might have missed week number 30. And you know what? Let me go ahead and throw in another 20 in here just to make myself feel better. Let me go ahead and do that because I don't know whether I did or not. So let's go 20, 40, 60, 1. I'm that important to myself. I'm that important to myself. As hard as I work, as much time and energy that I put in, I'm paying myself. Whatever you think, that's right. So our 52-week challenge is now complete. My straight out of money jar ain't straight out of money. I'm telling you, I've learned that if I pay myself first, if I save a little money now, later, just maybe, my money will save me. You save a little money now, later, just maybe, your money will save you. All aboard. That's what we're talking about, man. The money train, the save train is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us. TPM tennis, man. Pay yourself first. Absolutely. What's going on with you? Thanks so much for joining. We in here like swim well. Now, what we have been doing, guys, we have been continue along the journey, and we're going to finish up today the last part of Meeting the Goddess of Good Luck. This comes out of the book, which I continue to recommend to people. It's a $10 book that can change the way that you think. It helped change me from a financial zero to a financial hero, and that would be The Richest Man in Babylon. The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, we're going to pick up where we left off here yesterday. And we were the men, the richest man, which his name is Arcad. He was actually called by the president or the king at the time to come speak to the countrymen. And he said, you know what, you're doing something different than everybody else. I mean, everybody else is just over broke, and you, the wealthiest person in the land, maybe you can talk to and teach the other men how to be wealthy like you. And how many guys know that just like in any other society, that's always going to be the haves and the have-nots. And I'm going to tell you the reason why the have-nots don't have, because they won't listen to the ones that have. It's all about the dynamic of your mind and how you think and how you view and perceive things. And then from what you think and how you perceive, you then go act out. And if you haven't learned any better, you won't do any better. But I've also learned that even if you have learned better, you still have to choose to do better. Let me say that again, because I think the people in the back didn't just hear me. Right? It's always going to be the haves and the have-nots. And the reason why the have-nots don't have, because they won't learn from those who do have. And you can't do what you have not learned. But what I've also found is that even if you have learned something, you have learned how to do better, you still have to choose to do better. It's a choice. So there's one on the scope, the people that just don't know. Hey, but the people who don't know and the people who do know that still choose not to do, they one and the same. Because the action is going to be the same. Or the results are going to be the same. I don't know, therefore I can't do. I do know, but I choose not to do. I get the same result. I hope that didn't lose anybody. Let me say it again. They're one and the same. The people who don't know, who can't do because they don't know, and the people who do know but choose not to do, they get the same result. Broke, busted, and disgusted. Same result. Yeah, you got knowledge, but you ain't turned it into wisdom. You're not doing something with what you know. Right? Same result. And in this game called life is all about your results. In this game of life, it comes down to your results. Right? It's not the tree didn't get cast into the sea because it talked about bearing fruit. The tree got cast into the sea because it didn't bear fruit. It could talk about bearing fruit all it wants. It could want to bear fruit all it wants, but it didn't bear fruit. What about you? If God was the king in your life right now as it relates to your finances, and although you wanted to do better, although you talked about doing better, but you didn't do better, will he say, well done, thy good and faithful servant? Or will he say, you wicked servant, you knew? See, a lot of us got it mixed up. Results matter. Everybody putting accounts, so results matter. Results matter. So anyway, Arcad's in the Temple of Learning. This is a great place to go. Temple of Learning, to go learn and discuss. We don't have too many of those. I mean, we do some places, but it's not what we think today. It's not the college. It's not the high school. That's who those, the church. He went to a place where men could discuss and debate and have conversation, and all the men were of equal importance. It didn't matter whether they were the king or the pauper. They were all in the Temple of Learning. They were one and the same. So he went there. He said, and they started to have this conversation about good luck and how to have better fortune, or how to meet the guys good luck, have more good fortune happen in your life. And they start talking about the gaming tables and the casinos and having all these different dialogues about different places where they have seemed to have found some semblance of good luck. And what they were trying to say, well, is this something that just happened accidental, or is this something that we can actually cause to occur more often than not? Because everyone wants good fortune. Everyone wants good fortune. So he went on to have more conversation. He had two different brothers stood up and shared some stories with them. But then there was an outsider who was able to identify this habit that led to bad results. And he called this outsider called it what it was. He called it procrastination. He said the procrastinator keeps letting opportunities pass by, and now they got stories to tell about how they missed good fortune. The procrastinator keeps on saying they'll do it tomorrow. Now they got stories to tell about missed opportunity. The procrastinator won't make a decision even though he knows it's good for him, and even though he knows it's a great quality decision to make and do now. The procrastinator say, I'll do it later. And then he got stories to tell about missed opportunity. Let's catch up where we was at yesterday. Richest Man in Babylon. Again, the Syrian. This is the outsider. He said this to the response of one of the stories. He said, thank you again. I like to speak. The Syrian was upon his feet once more. He said, these tales are much alike. How many of you guys got a story to tell to the next generation, to your children, to your nieces, your nephews, your godsons, your goddaughters, your unborn? You got stories to tell of a time when you missed opportunity. You missed the opportunity to capitalize because of your procrastination, because you didn't move, because you wanted somebody else to wait and they was ready to go. How many guys, be honest, say that's happened not just once in my life, that's happened multiple times in my life. I mean, when I look back over my life, if I would have done that, man, I'd be in a much better financial situation right now. If I would have done that, then my business would be flourishing right now. If I would have finished this, if I would have sent that email, if I would have made that call, if I would not have procrastinated on something that I knew was good, on a plan that God had for me to prosper, if I would have moved forward immediately, I'd be in a much better financial situation today than I am right now. See, we get to a place of honesty, say, I got plenty of those. I mean, I've missed opportunity enough in my life. And here's my question for you. If you have missed enough opportunity, are you tired of missing opportunity yet? Are you tired of missing opportunities because of your procrastination? So the series said, man, these are stories. They all sound the same. I mean, each time opportunity came across your path and flew away for the same reason. Each time she came to the procrastinator, and each time each time that opportunity brought with it a good plan. But the procrastinator hesitates. The procrastinator says, not right now. The right now is not the best time. The procrastinator won't say, let's get it done. And here's the question. How in the world can men succeed like this? How in the world can the procrastinator succeed if they keep on procrastinating? What's going on, Mr. Muse? Thanks so much for joining in the house. How in the world can we succeed like this? That's the question that the outsider. Now notice it's an outsider. It ain't the men that speak the same language, because if they speak the same language, they pretty much going to all agree on the same stuff. It had to be the outsider who came and said, I see something that maybe y'all ain't seeing. Here's a good question for you to answer. How many guys are willing to listen to the outsider? The one that doesn't think like you. The one that doesn't speak the same language as you. The one who isn't in the same frame as you, but they can see something. And if you listen, they might be able to help you move beyond yourself. You see, God, if he could use a donkey to speak wisdom to somebody, surely he can use somebody that you don't even know. Because maybe the people that you know, the only people that you're listening to, they think just like you. They speak just like you. They were raised just like you. Sometimes it's okay to listen to an outsider. You know why? Because you can actually get a different perspective. And if you can accept a different perspective, your mind can actually grow. Your perception can actually grow. You can grow. You can't grow, keep doing and keep listening to the same thing. I know that. Man, how's that working out for you? Same thing, different day. Let's keep going. He says, wise are the words, my friend, responded the buyer. He said, good luck fled from procrastination in both of these tales. Yet this is not unusual. The spirit of procrastination is within all men. We desire riches, we want to get rich. Yet how often, when opportunity does appear before us, that the spirit of procrastination from within does urge various delays in our acceptance. In listening to this spirit of procrastination, we become our own worst enemies. In listening to this spirit of procrastination, we become our own worst enemies. How many guys can relate to this? In the spirit and in listening to the spirit of procrastination that's within us, we become our own worst enemies. He says, in my younger days, I did not know it by this long word our friend my Syrian doth enjoy. I did think at first it was my own poor judgment that did cause me the loss of many profitable trades. Later, I did credit it to my stubborn disposition. At last, I did recognize it for what it was. How many guys are willing to look in the mirror of your very own soul, to look in the mirror of your very own character and how you operate, how you treat other people, how you communicate, and recognize it for what it is? See, too often we look in the mirror, we want to glorify and beautify everything, but everything ain't beautiful. I'm sorry. Yeah, you the bomb.com. But there's some things about you. Not that you should make them bigger than they should be, but please don't cover them up and act like they're not there. There's some things about you that you need to recognize. It is what it is. What's going on, Amanda? Good morning to you. He said it was a habit of needlessly delaying where action was required. Action, prompt, and decisive. How I did hate it when its true character stood revealed. With the bitterness of a wild ass hitched to a chariot, I did break loose from this enemy to my success. And thank you. I like ask a question from Mr. Merchant, the Siri was speaking. He said, you wear fine robes, you wear the best clothes, not like those of the poor man. You speak like a successful man. Tell us, do you listen now with procrastination whispers in your ear? The merchant said, man, like our friend the buyer, I also had to recognize and conquer procrastination. Everybody putting it also conquer. You and I, we must conquer the enemy within. And here's one of the biggest problems that we have in our society. We're trying to conquer the enemy without. We're trying to do all the battles that are outside of ourselves and overlooking the very own battles that we must conquer for self. You and I to be the very best that we can be. You and I to live our blessed life. We must conquer the enemy within. He said to me, it would prove to be an enemy, ever watching and waiting to thwart my accomplishments. The tale I did relate is but one of many similar instances I could tell to show how I drove away my opportunities. See, this brother is just simply being real. He like, man, I could tell you plenty of stories where I realized it was me. It was me. It was me that was driving away the opportunities from me. It was me who was driving away these opportunities to get rich, these opportunities to get out of debt, these opportunities to progress. It was me. Now that I'm a little bit older and wiser, I can say that. But when I was going through it, I didn't realize it was me. I can tell you and show you how I drove away my opportunities. How many guys are willing to be honest today and say, you know what, I realize there's some things about me that have driven or continue to drive opportunities away from me. Matter of fact, I can think about a couple things. As I do a lot of business with a lot of different people, and I try to give plenty of people an opportunity to get my money. And it'd be things. It'd be character. It'd be response time. It'd be customer service. It'd be all these different things. But ultimately, it comes down to them. It'd be something about them that causes all those other things to be good or not be good, that then would say, well, I'm going to either keep doing business with you or this is the last time I do business with you. And the sad part is it's for those who don't even see their very own flaws, or they see them and they don't work on them. They know they got them, but they refuse to work on them. And I'm of the mindset that we all know we all know our own issues. It's just a matter of whether we choose to work on them or not. See, I don't give a pass to you as an adult at this point. You 30 years old, 35, 40, 45, 50, you know, you've been told your whole life. People have come across your path and let you know, man, y'all don't know about that. It'll cause you to lose relationships. It'll cause you to lose money. It'll cause you all types of headache, but yet you have to decide at some point in time that you're going to work on you. Everybody put console work on me. At some point in time, look at it, Michael Muse, man. We got one honest brother in the house. He said, man, I've driven opportunities away. I realized at points in my life I wasn't the very best. I wasn't who I am today, right? I got better though, and I'm attracting these opportunities now, huh, Mr. Muse? But that's what I'm saying. At some point, we got to get honest with ourselves. That it ain't everybody else. I got something to do with the opportunities that I keep missing. I keep passing up on. I keep procrastinating on. I keep not taking advantage of. I got something to do with that. Now I can blame society. I can blame the government. I can blame my upbringing. I can blame my parents. I can play the blame game all day long. But at some point in time, like Miss Oprah Winfrey said, we got to take personal responsibility for our life. At some point. Actually, you don't even have to. You can just keep on acting like you ain't got nothing to do with it and see how that works out for you. It's not difficult to conquer once you understand. This is what he said. He said, hey, once I understood, everybody put in console understand. Once I understood, see, I had to recognize first, then I had to understand. So I had to recognize my own issues. Then I had to understand my issues. Once I did that, it was easy to overcome. It was easy to conquer. It was easy to defeat the enemy within. Once I recognized my own issues, and then I began to understand these issues, where they came from, why I think like this, whatever the case may be. Man, it got easy. It got easy overcoming these particular issues. Michael Muse said, capitalize all the time, especially during times like this, unique in time and history. Recognize, understand, conquer. Recognize, understand, conquer. No man willingly permits the thief to rob his bins of grain, nor does any man willingly permit an enemy to drive away his customers or rob him of his profits. When once I did recognize that such acts of these my enemy was committing, with determination, I conquered him. Once I realized it was me, I worked on fixing me. And when I worked on fixing me, who was the enemy to my very own success, I started getting better success. So must every man master. Everybody put it down, so master. So must every man master his own spirit of procrastination before he can expect to share in the rich treasures of Babylon, or the rich treasures of the land, or the rich treasures of the world. A man must master his own spirit of procrastination before he can share in the treasures of the land. What says Arcad? So they asked the richest man in Babylon. What says you? Admit it. What says you, Arcad? Because you are the richest man in Babylon. Many do proclaim thee to be the luckiest. Do you agree with me that no man can arrive at a full measure of success until he has completely crushed the spirit of procrastination within him? Now they're talking to the wise man. It is even as you say, Arcad admitted. During my long life, I've watched generation following generation, marching forward along those avenues of trade and science and learning that led to success in life. Opportunities came to all these men. Some grasped theirs and moved steadily to the gratification of their deepest desires, but the majority of these men hesitated. The majority faltered. The majority fell behind. Ask yourself this: are you part of the many, or are you part of the few? Are you part of the many who hesitate, the many who falter, or the many who fall behind because of procrastination? Or are you part of the few? The few who grasped your own opportunities and move steadily towards the gratification of your deepest desires. Are you the few, or are you part of the many? Amanda said, master my own spirit of procrastination before he can have his share in the treasure of the land. Are you part of the many, or are you part of the few? The many or the few? Arcad turned to the cloth weaver. Did you suggest that we debate good luck? Let us hear what you may now think is upon the subject. So the person who brought up the subject in the temple of learning, he's turning to him saying, hey, what do you think? Now that we talked about this, he said, I do see good luck in a different light. I had thought of it as something most desirable that might happen to a man without effort upon his part. Now that I think about it, I do realize such happenings are not the sort of thing one may attract to himself. From our discussion, I learned that to attract good luck to oneself, it is necessary to take advantages of opportunity. In order to attract good luck to oneself, it is necessary to take advantage of opportunity. Therefore, in the future, I shall endeavor to make the best of such opportunities as do come to me. Everybody putting down, so take advantage. In order to attract good luck to yourself, it is necessary to take advantage of opportunity. It is necessary to take advantage of opportunity. Thou hast well grasped the truths brought forth in our discussion, the richest man in Babylon said. Good luck, we do find, often follows opportunity, but seldom comes otherwise. Our merchant friend would have found great good luck had he accepted the opportunity the good goddess did present to him. Our friend the buyer, likewise, would have enjoyed good luck had he completed the purchase of the flock and sold at such a handsome profit. We did pursue this discussion to find a means by which good luck could be enticed to us. I feel that we have found that way. Both the tales did illustrate how good luck follows opportunity. Herein lies the truth that many similar tales of good luck, won or lost, could not change. The truth is this: good luck must be enticed by accepting opportunity. Good luck must be enticed by accepting opportunity. Those eager to grasp opportunities for their betterment do attract the interest of the good goddess. She is ever anxious to aid those who please her. Men of action please her best. Men and women of action please her best. Action will lead thee forward to the successes you do desire. And a simple understanding from this chapter of meeting the goddess of good luck is this: men of action are favored by the goddess of good luck. Men of action. If you're here today and you are a man of action, go and put in console man of action. If you are a woman here and you're saying I'm a woman of action, put in console I am a woman of action. Men and or women of action are favored by the goddess of good luck. And we can test this out. We can look over our life as long as we've been here on the earth, and we've seen the people who go get it and go after it, they seem to have more and more luck on their side. The people who sit on the couch, the people who do all the typing on the Instagram and Facebook, the people who debate all day but don't go do nothing, they're the ones who seem to be all the victims in the world. Seem that nothing seems to go their way. Are you a man or woman of action? Are you putting your God to the test to continue to not just bless you, but to favor you? But he can trust, or she can trust, whoever it is that you believe in, that you're going to get the job done, that you're going to take some action, that you're not going to delay and hesitate and falter. Men and women of action are favored by the gods. Now, I believe you and I, we can think about our whole life. We can think about situations that we've been in, situations we've that have occurred. And we can say, you know what? Is this true? What have I seen in my experience? What have I experienced in my life? You know what I found? I found this to be true for me. When I get busy, it gets busy. When I get busy, when something happens, I get a call, I come across something, and I just move. Now, listen. Sometimes I'm not saying move without thinking. I'm saying, but I move. I say, oh, this is it. I know, this is my lane. I've already done the study and I already know what I'm looking for. I found it and I go move. I'm not saying move ignorantly. I'm not saying move without conscience. I'm not saying move without thinking. But once you have thought about it a little bit, you analyze that thing, you realize it is a good opportunity, you gotta attack. What else is there to think about? Matter of fact, that's what I want to ask. Because I know who I'm talking to. I know I attract to myself that which I am. I understand that you have opportunities that are before you right now. You thought about it. You keep thinking about it. You're going to call your friends to talk about it. You called your mom, your aunt, uncle. I'm thinking about this decision. What else is there to think about? They done told you, it sounds good to me. Let's make it happen. What else is there to think about? There's been plenty of times that I kept thinking, and there have been plenty of times where I did and it didn't work out. But man, there's been plenty more times where I did and it did work out. That one question right there that I asked, I believe could be a game changer for you. What else is there to think about? What's really happening is that you're trying to find every reason not to move forward instead of reasons to move forward. All signs are saying go, and you're still trying to find the red light. This is called fear, by the way. Everything's telling you to go. Everything's telling you to move. Everything's telling you to act. All signs are go. It's waiting on you to start the engine and hit the gas. But you're trying to find a reason not to. Oh, I hit a button there, huh? Well, how you know that? Why I hit a button there, huh? I keep trying to find reasons not to participate in my very own prosperity. Why do I keep trying to find reasons not to participate in my very own prosperity? Why am I trying to find reasons not to move forward with the plans that God has for me to prosper? Why am I trying to find reasons why God is wrong? I always talk about going with the flow, but for some reason, I can't seem to go with the flow when it comes to my very own prosperity, it comes to my very own success, it comes to the very own things that are good for me, it comes to the very own thing that God has for me. For some strange reason, I can't just hit the pedal and just go forward and let things happen as they may be. It got to be, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the sick condition in our head. It can't be this good. Why not? Why can't it be that good? Why does there have to be some catch? Why? If the God you serve is as good as you say he is, why is there got to be a catch when it comes to the things that are good that he brings across your path? Why does there got to be a catch? Why would you say that this is too good to be true? Why is that? Why is that? God brings opportunity across your path. God has a plan for you to prosper, not to harm you, not to hurt you, right? You say it, you scream it, that's your favorite scripture, all this stuff. But then when it's showtime, you're trying to find reasons not to move forward with what you know is good for you. Alfredo, what's going on, brother? I have power, but does having money give me more power? I don't know. It gives you more. It gives you more opportunity to be able to express your power, because you can, cash it out. At the end of the day, there's some things you probably want to do that's going to require some money. You want to have a larger territory, have a greater influence. You're going to probably need some more money. What's going on? Analysis by paralysis, Carson. Absolutely. I fear no evil, but I have skills I need to keep moving forward. Absolutely. Absolutely. To think about my goals, right? Must push forward. We need to move forward. Bad thinking. That's stinking thinking. That's what I call it. Sometimes we think too long and think ourselves right out of doing it. Shaking my head. Yep. It's called fear and doubt. Sometimes we think too long. I want you to think about that, Miss Amanda. Sometimes we think ourselves out of what's good for you. And this is why I believe God says, man, your ways are not my ways. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. But you keep thinking your thoughts. Why don't you start thinking God thoughts? Huh? Why don't you start thinking God? Why don't you start getting out of your own way? You ever thought about that? That might help. I don't know. You ever start getting out of your own way? God has a plan for me to prosper, to help me to grow and succeed, not to harm me. And let me go find this real quick. Let me get the whole scripture, because that's what some of y'all stand on. Y'all, this is y'all scripture. This is y'all scripture. Jeremiah 29:11, right? 29. This is y'all scripture, honey. This is it right here. This is my thing. I know this one from the back of my head. This is my thing. This is what I stand on. This This is it. Okay, well, when you gonna start putting some works behind your faith? For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This is my scripture. I mean, whenever the pastors bring this up and this is in the sermon, this is my thing. I know that God got a plan for me. I know he wants me to prosper. I know he got hope in my future. But I keep getting in my own way. God ain't in my way. God brought me the opportunity. God brought me the plan. It's a plan for me to prosper. But for some reason, I don't believe. As long as I've been saying the scripture, as long as it's on my ringtone. It's in my memory, but it's not my heart. Uh-oh. Woo, Lord, what did he just say? Oh, did the preacher just say that? It's in my memory. It's in my mind. But it ain't in my soul. Woo! Ooh, don't hurt him like that, brother. Now you're gonna mess some people up this morning. It's in my memory. I can recite it. I know it by head. I don't know it by heart. Oh, Lord. Oh, don't do it to him like that, brother. That's right, Carter, man. Is it in you? Now, why do we do this, guys? It's not to convict you of anything like that. That's not my thing, right? My thing is to get you to think. Think about what you be thinking about. Matter of fact, a good book talks about the things that you should be thinking. Think on these things in Ephesians, I believe. Think on these things. Man, no, that's Philippians. Think on these things. So God wants us to think. Let's not get it wrong. God, it's not that God don't want us to think. God wants us to think. He just tells us what he wants us to think about. Think on these things. God has a plan for me to prosper and to grow you, right? Faith without works is dead. Take some action. How many guys, this is a message, hopefully, to just get you to move forward. And as I said, I know that I attracted myself that which I am. I know that God has a plan for you. And you know that God has a plan for you. Matter of fact, you and I both know that that plan is right before us, even right now. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share as you think about this plan that God has for you. As you think about whatever it is, this goal that you've set forth, God is giving you the plan. He's just waiting for you to take a step. I want you to be bold this morning. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share what's that next step for you. As you think about your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, as you have been praying and praying and praying, as you have been meditating and meditating and meditating, as you have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, but you know that plan has not changed. And it's not you that's waiting on God, it's God waiting on you. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share the next step that you know you're supposed to take, that you have been procrastinating on. I'm not talking about the 51st step. I'm not talking about the 2,099, 455,000 step. I'm talking about the next step. Because I believe that you know what that next step is. I believe that you could be fearing to finish or complete that next step, whatever it is. But I want you to be specific today. You know what that next step is. That next step could be a call. That next step could be to schedule your appointment. That next step could be to forgive somebody. I don't know. You know what it is, though. I know that you know what it is. And God knows that you know what it is. It's the thing that you have been dreading doing for some reason. What's that next step for you? You see, we go back to what we said earlier, right? How do you conquer the spirit within? How do you conquer the spirit of procrastination within? You recognize, you understand, then you conquer. Well, I don't believe we have a recognition problem. I believe we recognize what it is because it keeps bothering us. And it keep bothering us because it's trying to remind us to do it. Because God doesn't want you to forget. He just wants you to do. So I don't believe we have a recognition problem. Might be an understanding problem. I don't know. But what's the next step? What's the next thing? Don't think all the way to the big picture. Here's the next thing I know I'm supposed to do in my journey towards the accomplishment of this dream, goal, desire, plan, prosperity, proposition, whatever the case may be. What's the next step for you? Therefore, encourage one another to build up each other, just in fact you are doing. Fantastic. Help more people to economic independence. Well, great. So that's actually an idea, but not a step. There's a next step in that, right? If you're helping more people, which you are doing, obviously, Miss Lisa, there's a next step. There's something you're supposed to do next to in that journey of helping more people. That's the idea, but that's not the step. Vivian said, next step is to begin straightening out my finances. All right. So to begin straightening out your finances, that's still kind of an idea. There's a step in that, right? What does that look like for you, right? Define that a little bit more. Do I got to pull out some paper and I got to write down all of my expenses and debts and income? I mean, there's a step. There's a concrete step. Right? It's this simple, right? I need to call my mentor today. That's a step. That's a step. I got to call my mentor today. That's a step. Right? Pay off your car. I know that's right. Your next step is to move forward. That's too generic. Listen, I'm sorry. God ain't that generic. If God spoke to Noah and he told Noah exactly what type of wood, how much wood, how long, he gave him clear directions on what he needed to build that ark. If it's the same God, he don't just say move forward. That's too generic. God ain't that generic. He tell you what to do. Here's where you need to go next. I'm sorry. Create a budget. What's the next step for you? See, when we start getting to the details, right? That we have been commanded. That we have been, I can't think of the word. But when we get into the detail, like, okay, this is what I need to do next. I call my mentor. That's simple enough. I just pick up the phone and call him. You know what, mentor? I just know I'm supposed to call you today, man. Hopefully everything's well, right? And then you go with it from there. The next step, right? Create a checking account. All right, fantastic. More. What's going on, Carville, billionaire Bailey? The next step. Recognize, understand, then conquer. The spirit of procrastination that's within. Men and women of action are favored by the goddess of good luck. In the comments below, I'd like you to share something that you learned today. I don't do this just to do this. I do this to make a difference. See, my next step, I've been called to teach, educate, encourage, inspire people when it comes to money and the power. I'm simply asking you to answer this question in the comments below. Was this worth your time and why? I'm simply getting back to something that helped me to go from being a financial zero to a financial hero. Reading a good financial book to help me to establish a financial foundation. And I'm sharing the same book that helped me with you here today. I'm sharing the same book that helped me, that was written 100 years ago, that most people still won't spend $10 on. I'm sharing it with you today. The Richest Man in Babylon. We'll continue to go through this book because I'm going to read it with you. If you don't go get it yourself, that's okay. You at least have been exposed to it. On the next couple of episodes, we'll be going over this, the next chapter, which is called The 5 Laws of Gold, the 5 Laws of Money. 5 laws. It ain't 55. It ain't 500,000 laws. It's 5 laws of money to help you get out of debt, help you get rich, and help you build wealth. 5 laws. That's one law for every day of the week, every day of the weekday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 laws. If you only had to remember 5, would you do it? Not could you do it, would you do it? If all I needed to remember was 5 laws that will help me when it comes to money, and not just remember it, but act on it, and not just remember it, but participate, engage with it, make it a part of my life. If all I needed to do was 5, not 55, would I do it? Right? Take the next step now. Pineapples. Right? I recognize, understand, and conquer procrastination. Absolutely. I'm a stronger believer than I was yesterday. Absolutely, Miss Vivian. Right? I've learned that opportunity, conquer, master. Thank you, King. My pleasure. Right? Procrastination is an enemy within, and you can conquer that enemy within. This is the New Black Wall Street, the Money and Power Show, and I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The New Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.